Well, let's cross live now to RT Studio in the heart of Moscow, where I believe, and in fact I can see, that Kate Partridge has got one very famous face from the footballing world for company.
Hi there, Union. Yes, here we are. I'm delighted to be joined by AC Milan and Brazil star Kaka. Thank you very much indeed for joining me today. So, it's been an incredible tournament so far. That's just my opinion. What's your opinion of the tournament here in Russia?
It's the same. Thank you very much for having me here today, and my opinion is the same as yours. I think it's a very good tournament, very competitive, and we are ours to see a great final between France and Croatia.
Indeed. And also France-Croatia. Croatia may be a bit of a surprise there. What are you expecting from this match?
A big match for sure. France, it's a big team, solid, with big names, and Croatia with this organized team with a lot of heart, a lot of they are very strong, and so we're gonna watch a very, very good game.
So no predictions there. There's very good, no predictions. I mean, as you said, two very strong teams, particularly France. Do you think that France have gained momentum? They've got better as they've gone along?
Yes, this is good for this team, for France, because they are getting better in every game. So also the players, they are getting more involved, and a few players get more decisive during the World Cup. So we can talk about Mbappé. He grew up during the World Cup. Now everybody's talking about him, and it's fair because what he's increased during the World Cup was unbelievable.
Absolutely. And also we can look at some of the other players. France has great, what they say, strength in depth, lots of strong players. They could have picked maybe two teams, actually, France, lots of good, strong players. They have not conceded any goals in their last few matches, so their defence is a key point here?
Yes, it's very solid defence. I played with Varane in Real Madrid, so I can nominate him as the leader of the defensive part of France. Of course, it's a system, it's not just one player, so the way that they are trying to defend, it's very good. And also have to say about Pogba, he's doing a very good World Cup, and he makes everything easier for the defender as well.
Absolutely. And talking of Pogba, a midfielder that you can obviously relate to there, Croatia obviously famed very much for its midfield, Luka Modric, and also Ivan Perisic. As an England fan, he did a lot of damage for England, didn't he?
Yeah, I think this midfield from Croatia is one of the key points for them, and so they're very strong, very mature players. Luka Modric is leading this team in a very specific way, and so Rakitic, Perisic, they are doing good together. So their midfield, it's the key.
It is key, absolutely. But Croatia, they've played a lot of extra time, 3 lots of extra time, being English we know. That's an entire match more than France. Also, France had one day more rest. Do you think, the English media said it, Croatia would be tired? Do you think they will be tired?
This is something that this is some details that we can pick to put a pepper for the game, right? But I don't think it's going to be a problem for the Croatian, because they've been playing a great game, 3 overtimes. The last one against England was different for them, and they scored in the overtime, different the other 2 that they finished with the PKs. And so I think this one day and the overtime is not be a problem for them to keep their heart on the field and fight to the end for this incredible journey.
Absolutely. Which teams throughout the World Cup have surprised you? Which players have surprised you?
The team, I think it's Croatia. I think before the World Cup, a lot of people said that Croatia could be the surprise, and they just beat the expectations, and they are here for the final. And the players, I think I've nominated Mbappé, because what he's doing so far, 19 years old, sometimes during the game seems that he's got a 35, 36, very mature. and sometimes shows that he's just 19. So it's very good to see, and we are very blessed to see a player like this in the World Cup like this, just 19 years old.
Yeah, superb. And would you then think that he is a contender for the Golden Ball? Do you think he's one of the best players?
Yeah, I think his season with PSG was normal, but what he's doing for the World Cup, it's incredible, and it's counts a lot when you think about Golden Ball and individual awards. The World Cup counts a lot, so we will see the end of the final. But if France wins, I think Mbappé will be one of the finalists for the individuals award.
Indeed. So as we said, it's France against Croatia, not Brazil, as so many people were people were predicting. How do you think Brazil has played at this tournament?
I think Brazil played very, very good. Of course, for us Brazilian, when you achieve the final or win, it's you fail. But for me, I think Brazil did everything that they could. So Tite, as a coach, increased the chance to Brazil to win. The players was committed. So I think Brazil did a good tournament. And against Belgium, we watched a very, very good game with the high level of technique. Tactics was unbelievable. I think both coaches did a very good strategy. And the end, it's the game. But Thiago Silva had a chance 2 minutes before the company had their chances. If the Thiago's balls goes in, probably the result will be different. And today, probably we will talk about Brazil. But this is part of the game. This is why we love football, because nobody knows what's going to happen in a few hours.
Also, one person I must talk about, because he's a colourful character, let's say, is Neymar. People have lots of opinions about Neymar, how he is world's most expensive footballer. What's he like? What's he really like? What do Brazilians think of Neymar?
Well, I love him because I think he's one of the best players in the world right now. Of course, he's just 26, a lot of pressure, a lot of things on his back. But I think as a 26-year-old guy, I think he's okay. He's good for what the responsibility that he's got right now. And of course, he's gonna mature. He has a lot of things to grow and to increase. But for us as a Brazilian, we love him, and he's one of the best players that we have.
So as a Brazilian, are you optimistic? I mean, 2014, we don't really talk about that, but going forward, are you optimistic for Brazil? Yes,
I'm very optimistic. I don't know what's going to happen with Tite, our coach, but I think, and it's good for Brazil that he's still in the national team, because till now he's got 2 years working for the national team. If they keep him as a coach, probably for the next one, he will have 6 years coaching this team, and with different players, he can put the pieces together to be better on the next World Cup, and will be completely different.
Indeed, it's going to be an interesting World Cup next time as well, also being in Qatar.
It'll be amazing.
Can I just ask you, you're here in Moscow. Is it your first time in Moscow, and what are your impressions?
No, it's my 4th time here. I came here with Real Madrid to play. I came here to launch this ball a few months ago, and I came also for a documentary for China. This was the nicest one because I went to places to visit, to know the city, and to understand more about this culture, that it's incredible.
Brilliant. So let's say, you've been to Moscow. Where else in Russia have you been to?
I've been in St. Petersburg as well. Mm-hmm. Nice city, amazing, beautiful, and this is the 2 places that I've been here.
Excellent. So in the meantime then, can we just ask you, do you mind just signing the ball?
Of course.
This is the ball that we've asked all our guests to sign here. So. Excellent, thank you very much indeed. So, what have you just written? Just a signature.
Yeah,
excellent.
Kaka, number 10.
Number 10, absolutely. So, if I could really push you for some predictions here, how do you think today is going to go?
Well, I would say France.
Yep.
Because the way that they played the World Cup, so my prediction is that France is the favorite team to win tonight.
Indeed, okay. And have you met many fans while you've been out and about?
Yes, a lot of fans from everywhere. So it's nice to have this feeling as well. And I brought my son, 10 years old boy, Luca. So I think it's good for us to have this time together and show him what is World Cup, this atmosphere, to see different countries, different cultures, everybody together. So this is why I love sports and football, most of them. So it's good.
And how is the Russian World Cup different to the Brazilian World Cup?
I need to say that congratulations to Russia and to the Russians, because it's like Brazil. There were a lot of doubts about the World Cup, the organization, they're gonna make it or not. And at the end, I think it was really good, very organized. Everybody's happy because everybody worked in the way that everybody was expected. So in Brazil was the same. Had a lot of doubts about Brazil, and at the end, 2014, unfortunately for us, Brazilian was not so good. But for the people from Brazil, was very good to host a World Cup. I think it's the same for the Russians.
Absolutely. The one thing we were anticipating when it was coming up to the Russian World Cup, so we had Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. So that didn't really happen, did it? Quite so much.
Yeah, I think we saw. I think this World Cup gave us a lot of lessons. So how competitive is the game right now? How the talent is not enough anymore. So a lot of these things showed us how important to have this group, to a strong team. But I still think that Cristiano did unbelievable with Portugal. He scored a lot of goals. Messi tried so bad to put Argentina on the top. Unfortunately, he couldn't. But we saw other players shining, and I think this is the World Cup.
Absolutely. Do you think that we will see either Messi or Ronaldo in the next World Cup? I mean, because of their age, maybe? Do you think?
Ronaldo is unbelievable because he's like wine, no? So Ronaldo, he will be 36 maybe, and I wish we can see him in the next World Cup as well. Depends on his motivation, but he's very strong on his head. He keeps his mind on targets, on beat records, and so probably. And I wish, this is more my desire to see him playing for Portugal another World Cup. And I think Messi, it's probably we will see. He'll be 34, so I think Messi can arrive in a very good shape and motivated for another World Cup with Argentina.
So maybe just one more, possibly.
Yes, I
possibly.
think so.
And finally, going forward, we've seen the European teams do particularly well. It is in Europe, that is often how it works. Do you think that it's a new era, or do you think South American teams will come strong again, or African teams, or Asian teams?
I think we have to take a lot of lessons also from the European teams. Maybe some tactics, organization, something that we can bring for I'll tell about South America because I'm closest to these countries. So I think for us it will be nice to have this kind of lessons. We had a very good lesson with Germany in 2014. Now we saw a different team and different organization. So this is something that we can put on balance and take the good things from this experience to see the South American countries and national teams doing better and arriving to lift it up the World Cup again.
And finally, just before we let you go, when you leave Moscow, when you leave Russia, what will be your main memory? What will you take with you when you go?
I think it will be the great 4 days that is spent here with my family to enjoying another great World Cup. So this atmosphere for the World Cup, it's unbelievable. So this is something that it's memorable.
Indeed it has been. It's been memorable too. It's lovely to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And if I can hand back to you, Yunin, in the studio in Moscow.
Yeah, what a player he was, Kate, speaking to former World Player of the Year,